Welcome to the Top Business Leaders Show, powered by Rise 25 Media. We feature top founders, executives, and business leaders from all over the world.
Chad Franzen here, co-host for this show where we feature top restaurateurs, investors, and business leaders. This is part of our SpotOn series. SpotOn has the best-in-class payment platform for retail, and they have a flagship solution called SpotOn Restaurant, where they combine marketing, software, and payments all in one. They've served everyone from larger chains like Dairy Queen and Subway to small mom-and-pop restaurants. To learn more, go to SpotOn.com. This episode is brought to you by Rise 25. We help B2B businesses to get ROI, clients, referrals, and strategic partnerships through Done For You podcasts. If you have a B2B business and want to build great relationships with clients, referrals, and thought leaders in your space, there's no better way to do it than through podcasts and content marketing. To learn more, go to rise25media.com or email us at support@rise25media.com. Sherif Mityas has over 25 years of experience in the retail and restaurant sectors, currently serving as the president of BRIX Brands, a leading restaurant portfolio company spanning 6 brands with over 200 locations across the country. Prior to his current role, Sherif was the chief experience officer for TGI Fridays and CEO for Hollywood Video and Movie Gallery. Hey, Sherif, thanks so much for joining me today. How are you?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Hey, so tell me how did you break into the restaurant industry?
A lot of my career had actually been in the retail space, but obviously it's a very incestuous industry. Folks move between retail and restaurants and hospitality pretty easily, and so some of the folks I had worked with actually in the movie business moved into the restaurant space, and was able to join the TGI Fridays group. And help them out for a few years.
Yeah, I mentioned you were the chief experience officer for TGI Fridays. What were kind of your main objectives in that position?
Yeah, at that point, I really had responsibility for anything that touches the guest, right? So it's not just marketing, culinary innovation, but also technology and digital. And so my main focus was how do we really create a different type of experience, whether a guest is coming into a restaurant or whether they're sitting at home. And so to me, it was really how do we take a 50-plus-year-old brand and really make it new again, make it relevant again, and really think through how do we engender the brand to a newer generation. You obviously do that through technology. And, my big mantra when I came in was, we want to be a technology company that happens to sell beer and ribs.
So what were some kind of changes you made maybe to enhance technology?
Yeah, so we did a lot around, obviously, the digital platform that we put in place, really be able to, again, connect with guests wherever they were, whenever they were thinking about a food and beverage occasion. So, improving our digital content, improving our app, our website, our mobile capabilities. But even going further we were the first restaurant chain to interact with Amazon Alexa and Google Home. So people could sit at home, open their Fridays, by speaking to Alexa and get ribs delivered to their house by just not even using their thumbs on their phone, but talking and interacting even when you're in the car. And, the on-demand system and all those marketplace systems that you have in your car to be able to not only find a Fridays, maybe make a reservation, but also order and have it ready for you when you want to come and pick it up on your way home from work. So those types of things, right? Just trying to improve the experience and trying to improve the convenience and the awareness and the engagement between our brand, between our locations, our team members, and our guests was really our focus.
Very nice. So what brought you to BRIX Holdings?
So the BRIX Holdings opportunity was very interesting to me because it was kind of taking what we were doing in one brand, but now doing it across a portfolio of brands. And, being able to really think about how do you grow, not just, from a consumer perspective, but how do you grow kind of the units from a brand perspective, right? How do you get, and we're all franchised, so how do you get the opportunities to bring on more great franchisees, owner operators that are able to have these great businesses that you're able to support? To me, was an interesting opportunity, and to be able to kind of take some brands that are across a number of different cuisine types. I mean, we have everything from sit down casual dining to salad buffets to frozen yogurt shops, right? And be able to really think through how do you create a portfolio group that's really allows people to to invest in different ways, to interact with guests in different ways, and at the end of the day, to sustain people's livelihoods.
So for people who aren't familiar, you kind of alluded to it. You guys have a bunch of franchises. Tell me more about what BRIX Holdings does.
Yeah, so BRIX Holdings is, again, we have a collection of great brands. So the biggest one that probably people know of, if you're in the Northeast at all, is Friendly's. So Friendly's is an 80-plus-year-old brand. If you know kind of ice cream and you were there as a kid. And we have about 100 and so locations of Friendly's that are up and down the Northeast. And great brand and really re-emerging in a new way. In fact, we just opened a new fast casual Friendly's. So a very different model, again, to extend what that brand can do and what it stands for. We have a couple frozen yogurt concepts. So everyone might know, again, if you're in the East or the Midwest, Red Mango. You might see them in airports, see them in college campuses. They're also on street side. And then we also have Orange Leaf. If you're down kind of either, again, in the Midwest or now in the South, Orange Leaf frozen yogurt, very kid-friendly, kind of toppings and sugar high. We have a soup and salad. So Super Salad is our soup and salad buffet concept. Great opportunity for, kind of great value lunch and dinner. And then we have a couple others. We have our Smoothie Factory. So again, very healthy, great smoothies, bowls that we have mostly in the Texas market. And then we have a smaller group called RedBrick Pizza. So our kind of 900-degree pizza oven concept, and Humble Donuts. So just rounding out all the cuisine types.
So these are all brands that BRIX Holdings has acquired. None of them were already developed by the time BRIX
Exactly
Holdings.
Right. That's right.
Can we go through some of them and maybe talk about how BRIX has impacted the brands? Like how has BRIX kind of impacted Red Mango since it's been, kind of acquired by BRIX Holdings?
Yeah, I think in a couple different ways. So one of the big things that we try to do when we acquire a brand is really, I think, get back to its roots, right? Why did it exist in the first place? And sometimes when we buy brands, they've kind of gone through their growth cycle and they're either stagnant or they've been decreasing. And so it's kind of going back to the core and trying to uncover, what was the brand essence? Who are the target consumers? What are we trying to actually achieve with this brand that differentiates it from all the other, in this case, frozen yogurt concepts? And so doing that first and then putting everything around that, again, from an experience perspective. So do we need to update what the store looks like? Do we need to update the menu? Do we need to update the marketing around it? And so kind of that's what we bring to bear, is kind of from a consumer-driven perspective, an experiential perspective. How do we want to ensure that we're still true to the core of the brand, but we're, let's call it, remodeling it, right? We're kind of giving it a new face, a new look, a new life. And so that's what we do. And then we take that and we then grow it, right? We kind of go and get new franchise partners, new development partners, and to be able to kind of extend where those locations are, brand awareness to the guest, and create an opportunity for that brand to grow and thrive again.
So are there franchise opportunities available with each of those brands?
There absolutely is. So if any of your listeners are looking to join the BRIX Holdings family, would love to, please go to brixholdings.com, and we've got an opportunity for folks to really go in at different financial levels too, right? It's not like you have to have millions of dollars to build a big restaurant. You can spend a little bit of money and open a great, fantastic, very profitable little frozen yogurt shop or a little donut shop. And so they're being able to have different options for different folks depending on where they are in their life. Do they want to start being a franchisee? We have a great, franchisee. She's a mother of 5 down in San Antonio. She started with 1 Orange Leaf and now she has 3. And, she's building a legacy for her children to take over those stores someday, hopefully continue to grow those stores. But that's the opportunity that you can sometimes put in place for people with these franchise businesses, is to be your own boss and create something that's just yours.
What makes maybe how is RedBrick Pizza Kitchen and Cafe a different type of franchise opportunity than maybe a frozen yogurt shop?
Yeah, well, it really comes down to 2 things. One is financial requirements, right? The pizza shop is clearly more of a sit-down restaurant, more equipment. It's more of an investment up front, but operationally too, right? We tend to want to have folks that run RedBrick Pizza or Super Salads or Friendly's obviously have restaurant experience, right? You're dealing with more staff, you're dealing with more back of house, kitchen, a larger menu. And so the capabilities required, in our opinion, to operate those more effectively and be successful means that franchisee needs to have not just financial wherewithal, but also operational experience in the restaurant space. Now, contrast that with a red mango or an orange leaf, excuse me, and it's a lot easier, right? There's no really heating elements, there's no cooking, it's frozen yogurt machines and toppings. And so it's an opportunity for someone that doesn't have restaurant experience, but wants to get into the hospitality space, wants to do something fun, build something on their own to kind of ease into the restaurant sector with a frozen yogurt shop.
What should somebody like that, maybe somebody like me who doesn't have the type of experience that you would need for a pizza place, what is something that I don't know that I need to know going into it?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is especially now in this environment is how to create the right environment and culture for your team, right? And we've heard all the stories about the labor issues in the restaurant space and the hospitality space. And the biggest thing you need to have now is just great people, right? So coming in and understanding you know how to deal with people, not just your team members, but guests, right? You're going into the hospitality space. You got to be able to have that mindset that I'm here to serve. And I'm here to make sure that everyone else around me has a great time, as if you were inviting them into your home. And so I think it's that first thing is just having the right mindset, having the right thought process. And this is how I want to really own my business. This is how I want to operate my business. But I want my culture to be in my four walls, not again just for your team members, but for your guests as well. And everything else we can teach you, right? We can teach you how to run a store. We can teach you how to do the math and the finances and run the technology. But if you're not coming in with that right mindset of I'm in the hospitality business and I got to take care of my team and my guests, then you're not going to be successful.
What are some of your goals kind of moving forward with BRIX Holdings?
I think, a couple things. One is to, again, as I mentioned, is to organically grow the brands we have, right? Ensure we continue to build, continue to kind of refresh them and make sure we're continuing to open new sites with new franchise partners. But secondly, and concurrently, we're also looking at acquiring new brands, right? We're not done with just the 6-7 brands we have. We're actively searching and looking for great new brands that are out there, maybe emerging brands, maybe folks that have 20, 30, 40 locations today that are on that cusp of, I built something, but I don't really know how to scale it now. I don't really know how to get it to 100 or 200 locations. Those are the folks that we're interested in talking to and getting them into our portfolio, helping these entrepreneurs grow, being part of the portfolio and growing them to something much bigger.
Okay, great. Hey, how can people find out more information about everything that you have going on at BRIX?
Yeah, so bricksholdings.com is the best way to get involved and to interact and contact us through that. And we're happy to reach out if folks are just interested in understanding more about one or more brands and getting you started down the path of potentially becoming one of our franchise partners.
Final question for you. What's kind of in your career, especially with the restaurant industry, maybe like a moment that you look back on that you're particularly proud of, a big success or kind of a career highlight?
I think going back, I think the one thing that I'd say surprised me, but also made me the most happy was going into a restaurant and we had just launched kind of this new technology and new way we wanted team members to interact with their guests. And there was all this consternation of, is it taking away from the experience? Is it taking away from that interaction we want to have between a team member and a guest? And I'll never forget this one young woman came up to me and she's like, I was skeptical at first, but what you guys did here is awesome. And it's made me a better team member. I'm making more money. I'm actually making more tips because of it. And so I can't thank you enough for believing in us as team members to give us these tools to make us better at what we do and what our job is, and to actually give us more money at the end of the day too. And I think, sometimes, especially for folks that get enamored with shiny new objects on the technology side and what you need to do to, be different, if you can't make it so that it works for the team member and not just the guest, but both sides, I think you're going to fail. And so that to me was kind of a defining moment and one that I kind of hold in the back of my head anytime someone comes to me and says, we should go do X next, my first question is, what is it going to do for the people that we have? And not just the guests, but the people that we have in our stores.
Great. Hey, great. That's a great story. Thank you so much, Sherif. I really appreciate your time and your insights.
Thanks for having me.
So long, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Top Business Leaders Show, powered by Rise 25. Visit rise25.com to check out more episodes of the show and to learn more about how you can start your own podcast.